Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a whole bunch of makeup reviews, definitely highlighting some items I think are truly terrible, items that you should not purchase whatsoever. I just don't think they're worth the money at all. And then also I'm going to be talking about products that I really love, instant favorites, ones I think are absolutely worth the money. So if you guys are new to my channel, I do a lot of hits and misses on my channel, highlighting makeup that I think is worth it, and also letting you guys know about items that I don't like so that we can all spend our money well and really enjoy the makeup that we end up investing in. So without further ado, let's get on to all of these products I'm going to be talking about today, and there's quite a few misses in this video. All right, so the first item that I'm going to be talking about that is a huge miss, this is actually something that you guys did warn me about yourselves when I did haul this. And this is something that I didn't actually purchase with my own money. Well, I sort of did actually. This came in the Jilly box, which is the Jillian Harris subscription box. If you guys are unfamiliar, she's a Canadian influencer and she does put a lifestyle box together for every season. This happened to be in it and you guys said this was so terrible. This is the Coola makeup setting spray, and as you guys can see, this is nearly full. I absolutely do not like this product, and a lot of you guys also do not like this product. The warnings I got from you guys were that it burns the skin, eats away at your makeup, so it doesn't actually set anything, it just deteriorates what you've put on your face. I've definitely heard a ton of this burned my skin or way too harsh, things like that was the common complaint about this one. And if you actually look at the back of this, which is so interesting, it says do not spray directly onto face. Like, what? This is a makeup setting spray, so naturally if you don't even read the directions, you will directly spray it on your face. That's what makeup setting sprays are. So very interesting that you're supposed to read the directions. I mean, I guess you're supposed to, but not a lot of consumers do that, let's be real. And if you happen to not catch that, you would absolutely spray it directly on your face. Potentially why a lot of us are getting burning reactions. So this does say spray on hands and then apply to face before sun exposure. Reapply after 30 minutes. This to me seems like a very interesting and useless product, to be honest, because when you have your makeup done, this is a makeup setting spray, okay? When you have your makeup done, you are supposed to spray this on your hands and rub it in your face that's already done. I just don't understand how they thought that was a good idea. Most of us are not going to want to rub our hands into our makeup that we spent minutes just putting on our face, making it look nice. And then not only that, but to reapply it every 30 minutes. So for a sunscreen, yes, reapplication is absolutely necessary, but I don't know. This is an interesting concept product. Rubbing my hands all into my makeup just to put it on, I think is going to be a huge hassle. And that's why when I was testing this, it was so difficult, you guys. It didn't do anything for me, and I actually didn't have any big burning sensations, but I did get my makeup being broken down and redness, so not burning, but definitely irritation. Because of that, this is a huge miss, practicality-wise on how to use it, like heck no, and also the fact that my skin just did not like it. I'm going to talk about my first hit, and this is actually something you guys are probably very interested in hearing about. This is from a fellow content creator by the name of Goss. This is actually a very interesting palette, and this is the Luxury Eye palette. This is in Imperial Topaz, which is, I guess it's going to be one of many palettes he is going to be releasing, but this is how it looks, you guys. It's incredibly reflective packaging, definitely a black color and very glossy and shiny, but this is super, super beautiful eyeshadow palette. As you can see, when it comes to colors, very basic, very everyday friendly. We've got some shimmers, some mattes. We have a black matte in here also, which I did get quite a bit of questions about, like how is the black matte in here? Is it one that's going to be very difficult to apply? There are some black mattes in palettes that are incredibly pigment heavy, so when you apply them to the eye, you have to be very careful, but this is one that's a little bit more of a smoother, sheer, slightly sheerer texture, so it makes building up onto the eye very easy. So I do think that it is catered to beginners and to like medium as well as to expert level. Buildable, lasts a long time. I do find that I just use my regular base with this, which is the Smashbox 24-Hour Eyeshadow Primer. Love this. It's a match made in heaven, and this is definitely a job well done from Wayne. Because I am a high-end and luxury channel, I do cater towards higher-end brands and luxury brands. It's just what my audience has come to appreciate and the information they want to know. Not that I don't like drugstore stuff, but I just don't have the knowledge base to really comment on like CoverGirl, Maybelline, all of these drugstore brands because I just don't use them. So I feel like I can't really review the products if I don't have a knowledge base. But this is actually by incredibly popular demand on my TikTok platform, but also from some of you guys also. And this is also available at Sephora Canada, so I made an exception for this just for demand and the fact that it's available in a high-end retailer. But this is the Morphe 2 launch. This is actually the skin tint from the launch. And this is actually the one that's backed by the D'Amelio sisters. If you haven't seen them, they're all over TikTok. And this is the Hint Hint Skin Tint Sheer to Medium Coverage Skin Tint. Now this I had some pretty high hopes for because of the fact that I really am into, especially for summer, I'm into more lightweight bases. So I really love the Tarte Maracuja Hydrator. I think it's amazing, lightweight, kind of like a light to medium coverage product. I absolutely love that one. So I had some high hopes for this. This for coverage level is insane. It's actually, when it says sheer to medium, I would say it's more of a light to medium. It's pretty heavy, so that's pretty surprising. But the thing with this one is that it starts out very radiant on the skin. Then what it does is it stays tacky for quite some time. So it doesn't set nearly as fast. I think that might just be either to cater to the younger makeup user who just needs to blend in more or have more time working with it. I have no idea. But I did find that the tackiness was staying there for a long time. So that one I felt was a huge downfall for that one because you really want to put on your base, have it set a reasonable amount of time later. So that was something. And also the fact that after about 4 or 5 hours, it did wear okay, set on the skin totally fine. However, I would say that it does start to settle into lines probably around the 7-hour mark, so not even a full work day. You're getting some texture enhanced and things like that. Perhaps for the younger person that doesn't have texture or wrinkles yet, this could be a bit of a better option, but for myself and maybe for people around my age and older, this might not be the best idea if you have any imperfections whatsoever on your skin. So this is definitely another miss. Now, kind of going along the Morphe line, I'm going to quickly highlight one more that I also think is a miss. And this is simply a preference style one. This isn't anything else but a preference style. This is actually their lip oil also, which I also got a ton of demand to review. In the tube, it looks like it's going to be fairly pigmented. And when you actually squeeze it out, it's not that pigmented, it's more sheer for sure, but this is one that comes out like a rocket when you squeeze it, so you have to be super careful for that. But also it really stays on the lips for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, and that's about it. Moves around on the lips, obviously. You take a drink of water and it's already starting to fade out. So this is definitely something that is either for a younger person that just wants to grab something and go, but even then it doesn't stay on the lips too long at all. So you're gonna run through this product pretty fast, in my opinion. And this is also something that I think is just honestly, for me at this point in my life, I want a little bit more coverage. So a lip gloss with a little bit more pigment is more so what I'm looking for, and also the longevity too, because I really don't have time to keep reapplying this numerous times in an hour because of it wearing away. I do want to share a very surprising hit from this Morphe 2 collection. So this is actually something that kind of goes along the Glossier vibes of their Cloud Paint, which is a really popular cream blush you can use for blush, you can use for eyeshadow, for lips, whatever you want to do. It's a very versatile product. The Cloud Paints are super popular, and this is something that I think mirrors that same idea on the skin, which I think is a game changer for those of you that maybe can't get the Glossier one or you want a bit of a cheaper option. This is the Wonder Tint Cheek and Lip Mousse from Morphe, the Morphe 2 line. And the shade I have is Dream, which is a peachy pink. This does have like a moussey texture, hence the name, but I love how it applies to the skin. It's very effortless. You can either warm it up on your hand and then apply it to the cheek, or you can apply it just directly. This has a nice glass tub kind of effect to it, and this one reminds me a little bit, like from the bottom, it reminds me of the paint pots from MAC, just how they kind of feel in the hand. And you don't need much either to have a really gorgeous flush. So this is actually definitely by far the hit of the line for me. Like all the other ones you can pass on for the most part. This one also fades really well as you wear your makeup throughout the day. It stays put and then fades gently and beautifully, basically as expected. So it doesn't last more than probably 12 hours on the cheek, but has a gorgeous flush, very natural looking. I'm definitely impressed. Now this is the last mist that I'm going to report to you guys from the Morphe 2 collection. This is the Jelly Eye Shimmer. What I will say is this one's a bit more high maintenance than they kind of let on to believe. They apply this directly with the finger onto an unprepped lid, or basically no base, and this one breaks apart pretty fast. Probably within like 6 hours or so, you're getting just glitter chunks on your lid. So you gotta be really careful, but this is one that I think is not the best quality, like for the price point at all. It just needs a lot of work. So to make this truly work, you need like concealer, you need probably an eyeshadow underneath it as well. Like this is just too much work for the hassle. And the shade that I have is Bright Idea, which is a really beautiful like pinky champagne shimmer. It's very sheer, so it's a lot shimmer heavy versus pigment. Like there's not really a ton of color underneath. It has a nice highlight to the eye as soon as you apply it. Without a base or any help, it will break apart pretty quick, especially if you have hooded eyes like me or any creasing at all. It will break right in there. So I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't surprised by this, but I figured I'd report anyways if you guys have anybody in your life that is interested in these, because I would just pass on them. Now my next hit is actually the Briogeo hair mask that I did haul recently in my last Sephora haul. It was the Superfood mask, and this is one that I used up entirely now, except my husband recycled the tub already, so I don't have it to show you guys. This was a really beautiful mask, and it was very similar to the Don't Despair Repair hair mask by a long shot. There's definitely some differences though. First off, the Superfoods one, which is that green container, that one is more of a solid. It has more of like a pudding texture, not like jello, but like it has a bit of like a solidness to the texture, more thick, versus the cream-based texture from the Don't Despair Repair mask. I find it a bit more creamy in consistency. That's the first thing. The second thing I found was that the Superfood mask did a good job of retaining moisture, but I did find I had longer term results with the Don't Despair Repair hair mask. I had more smoothness, less frizz, more moisture from the Don't Despair Repair hair mask for a longer period of time. Whereas the Superfood one, I think it lasted about the same day that I washed my hair, but it didn't really extend past that first day. So both are really good options, but I would, out of the two, probably just stick with my Don't Despair Repair hair mask, simply because my hair is color treated. I do want that moisture to extend past that first day, although both are really nice options for your hair. So it just depends on what you want to do with your hair or your hair goals. Maybe the Superfoods one didn't last as long on me because I probably needed more moisture than someone that doesn't have color treated hair. Okay, now let's talk about my final thoughts on these two Youth to the People masks. I did test both of these and I have hauled both of these as of recent. The first one is the Superberry Hydrate and Glow Dream Mask, which is very different than this one, which is the Yerba Mate Resurfacing Energy Facial. So this one you wear overnight so you don't actually wash off, and it does plump the skin, hydrate the skin, really gives a nice protective factor to the skin overnight, which really helps the skin to retain moisture. So this is one that I think is amazing. It does have a subtle smell. You don't need a lot either, but the smell of this is not essential oils and it's not perfume. This is actually the smell of the superfoods in the mask. So like goji berry, acai, those are really beautiful antioxidants for the skin, and they do have a subtle scent. So when you actually look at the ingredient list, it says natural fragrance, which is the common culprit of what some companies will write as natural. They'll say natural, but it really means essential oils. No, not the case for this one. This one is simply referring to the subtle fragrance of the berries in this mask. So this is something that I really, really like. I would 100% repurchase this one. Definitely a nice treat. I don't think your skin needs this all the time, but especially if it's on the drier side or you want to treat yourself, this one is really nice. There's no harmful ingredients in it. A nice hydrating moisture mask. This is a good option. Now this is one that I would say is just okay, and I'm going to tell you why. It can have the potential to be fairly harsh on the skin. It is one that you apply to the skin while still wet. You leave it for a couple of minutes and then you apply more water to your hands and kind of do a gentle like rubbing motion basically to help with the exfoliating part. And what I will say is that I've always maintained the position that you don't need physical exfoliants in your skincare routine. You don't need harsh scrubs or things like that. Some of you still say that you appreciate that feeling on the skin when you actually like a physical exfoliation, you feel more clean or you have that kind of sensation. And what I will say is that this is a good option, but within reason. It does say to use 1 to 3 times a week. I would do for sure only once because I think it's going to be pretty harsh at 3 times a week, but just be careful. I still had, after using it, I still had like little gritty bits on my skin. Like even the day after, I swear I washed all of it off and I still have some of my eyebrow hairs. I believe the physical exfoliants in this is not the yerba mate. It is the papaya and pineapple enzymes in this that I believe do the actual microdermabrasion, like the mild exfoliating. The yerba mate that's in here is actually a skin soothing antioxidant. This is actually one of the better options if you want to do physical exfoliating, but for me, just beware, the grits can kind of stay around your face. If it is overused, it does have the potential to be too harsh, so just be careful with this one. Okay, now this is the last hit that I'm going to talk about in this video today, and this is the Roen lip gloss, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce this brand name. It's kind of unfamiliar to me, so let me know if you know the correct pronunciation. But this is the lip gloss in Remi, so this is a really nice, like nudie pink kind of lip gloss. What I will say is this one definitely has a minty kind of smell to it, so I know a lot of you guys are aversive to that. If you don't mind mint kind of smells in your glosses, then it's okay. But this I would say has like medium coverage to the lips, really absorbs into the lips and kind of like smooths them out really beautifully. It does last, I would say, an average amount of time for a gloss, maybe a couple of hours before you have to reapply. So this is actually a fairly nice surprise, one that I think is an underrated product in Sephora right now. There aren't a ton of shades in this, so hopefully they expand the range if like there's a lot of demand for this. This is definitely something that I think would really be a good option for those of you that like that kind of thing. What do you guys think of all of the products today? Or anything surprise you at all? Which products would you like me to review next? Let me know everything in the comment section. And until my next one, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the